welcome to our broadcast today of the essential seventh chords for the ukulele. And if you notice, I was playing a blues there using all seventh chords. So, welcome. Just going to check in here real quick, and I just want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, all that kind of stuff. I'm here for you, and I appreciate it all. So, today we're talking about the essential seventh chord. So I'm still waiting for my feed here. Let me check one more time. And these chords are going to be essential to, there I am, okay. And to just your next progression after your major chords and after your minor chords are seventh chords. And you see this a lot in all kinds of songs, not only blues and jazz, but they do pop up also in pop songs and Christian songs and country songs and all that kind of stuff. So, we're going to jump into that. I'm also excited because we hit 1,500 followers on Facebook, so thank you for that. And I'm at, I say 300 on YouTube, but it's actually 299 as of earlier, so we're waiting for that one extra person to subscribe to the Uke Like the Pros YouTube channel, but it will come. So, what I'm going to show you here is your A7, B7, C7, D7, E7, F7, and G7. Some of them are going to be the same shape, but hopefully by the end of this lesson today, you're going to be able to find any seventh chord that you may see in a song. Now, I'm not going to say that these shapes are the only seventh chords on ukulele, because that's not true. There's a bunch of different seventh chords, but these are just some of the most common shapes that we can grab. All right, so let's just jump right into this bad boy here. Our first chord here is voila, our A7 chord. And this is like a cowboy chord because it's just open position. So it's just uses one finger. So open fourth string, first finger on the third string first fret, open second, and open first. So A7. And that's what I was doing earlier when I was playing this blues. Was I was just playing that A7 blues, or an A blues. All right, so there's your seventh chord. Now, with these chords, what I want you to remember today is where the root is of the chord. So why does this chord called an A7 chord? Well, this is an interesting chord because our root here is actually on the first string, which is usually a lot of our roots are here in the lower strings, right? The bassier strings. But for this one, the only root we have is in the first string. Now, I don't want to get into the theory behind chords, but I do have a very special announcement coming up here in a few days about a theory webinar that I'm going to be offering. So I'm just putting the final details on that, so I'll let you know. And we'll talk more about all this kind of stuff. But maybe we were talking about the major chord and a minor chord, and those were triads, meaning three notes. Okay? These are seventh chords, so you're going to take that triad, the root, third, and the fifth, and don't worry if you don't understand what that means, and we're going to add a note, we're going to add the seventh. Okay, and that's just the seventh degree of the scale. So, all our chords are going to have four notes, and we're not going to have any repeating notes in these particular chords because we only have four strings, and each chord requires four notes. All right, so just remember for this particular chord, your root is here, A, your open first string. So that means if we move this chord up and down the neck, whatever note that this note is on is the name of it. Okay? So let me give you another example of that. So if we take this A shape and we slide it up 2 frets, well, we slid our first finger up 2 frets, but remember we had open strings. We had open fourth, second, and first. And so we have to accommodate that by also moving those up. And so now what I have to do is I have to bar this here at the second fret. So I'm barring strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of them. and I'm putting my second finger on the third string, third fret. So that is exactly the same as your A7, so it's exactly the same as this shape, open, except for that it's moved up 2 frets. And now that it's moved up 2 frets, this note here on the first string, second fret is a B note. And so since this chord now is called B7. Alright, let me check my feet again, just see if anyone's here, and make sure we're live and we're moving and all that kind of stuff. There I am. Okay, fantastic. Hey, Earl. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Alright, so now let's take this shape one more time. And what happens if we move it up one more fret? So now we're on the third fret. So my first finger's here on the third fret, barring all 4 strings. And my second finger's on the third string, 4th fret. Well, what chord is that? It's whatever note this is on your ukulele. And some of you know that already. And some of you may need to look at that download I had for you of the notes on the ukulele neck. And this will help you figure this stuff out. So, if we move it up, the answer should have been C7. Alright, so hopefully you got that. So, because this note here on the first string is C. So it's C7 here on the third fret. If I move it back, it's B7. If I move it back, it's B flat 7. And then if I have our original chord here is our A7. Alright, that's the first shape. Okay, so now if we go on to the next chord, which remember I'm going alphabetical, so A7, well B7, well we already covered that one, right? So your B7 is the same shape, that doesn't change. Except, when I was messing around with these last night, I was coming up with all these different chord shapes that I haven't even played before on the ukulele, so I thought it was cool. So here's our B7, this is the one I want you to remember for the class, but I came up with this cool one, so check this out. Here's an alternate B7 that maybe some of you already know or play. So now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my third finger here on the 4th string, 4th fret. My second finger's on the third string, 3rd fret. My first finger's on the second string, 2nd fret, and then open 1st string. And that's also a B7 chord. So it's exactly the same sound as this, except because the notes are arranged slightly different, it's going to give slightly different sound. But it has the same 4 notes, and just for those who are curious, it's B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. Kind of cool, actually. Your root of this chord is right here on your 4th string, because that's the B note here on the 4th fret. You got open G, G sharp, A sharp, and B. Anyway, that's kind of a useful chord when the time's right, whenever you need it. But that's another B7. Okay? Thought that was cool. All right. So now, what I'm going to do is, the next chord, because we're going up alphabetically, is C7. So I'm going to show you a few shapes. So we know this C7 already, which is just like the A7, just like the B7, except for here on the 3rd fret. So and we went over that one already, the C7. But I'm going to show you some other shapes. So really, an easiest shape for the C7 is this one right here. And all it is open 4th string, open 3rd, open 2nd, and then my first finger's here on the 1st string, 1st fret. And that's it. Simple as that. One finger chord. One of the easier chords on the ukulele. So this is C7. Now, where is the root of this particular shape? Well, it's right here. Your open 3rd string, because that's your C note, and this is a C7 chord. Okay? So, can we move this one up? Well, of course we can. So let's say we take this one and we slide it up 2 frets. So now my first finger is going to go up 2 frets. So now it's on the 3rd string. But now I have to accommodate this open 4th, open 3rd, and open 2nd. So I have to now bring my first finger in and move it from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret. Because remember, we're moving everything up 2 frets, from open to 1st to 2nd. And now my 1st string 1st fret is going to the 3rd fret. So I have to change my fingering slightly, and it's going to look like this. This D7. So I'm barring 1, 2, 3, 4 here at the 2nd fret, and I'm just adding my 2nd finger to the 1st string 3rd fret. D7. Exactly the same as the C7 shape we did here, but just moved up 2 frets. And where's the root of this chord? Same place, 3rd string. So whatever note that is, in this case, 3rd string 2nd fret, and that's a D note. So there's your a D7 shape. Now, this is actually a pretty cool shape. Okay, and then again it goes back to this root which we were at, which was C7. All right, so we did A7, B7, and C7. What's next alphabetically? D7, okay? Now, we can do the shape that we just did, and that's fine, but I'm gonna not let you off that easy. I'm gonna show you basically the real traditional D7 chord that a lot of us play here, and it's this one. And all I'm doing here is my 2nd finger's on the 4th string, 2nd fret, open 3rd. My 3rd finger's on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, and open 1st. D7. Because that's really traditional, because it comes right from this D chord that we normally play, this D major chord. And all we're doing is we're taking off the finger off this 3rd string and making it open, and then you have D7. So I would imagine that's probably the one that a lot of us already know or have seen before. Now, this is a real interesting case in chords. Because if I examine these 4 notes here that I'm playing A on the 4th string 2nd fret, C on the 3rd string open, F sharp on the 2nd string 2nd fret, and then 1st string open is A. Well, is there a problem there? Of course there is. There's no D note. We have the F sharp, which is a 3rd of the chord. We have the A, which is the 5th of the chord, and we have the C, which is the 7th, but we have no D. Because normally the D note is here on the 3rd string 2nd fret when I'm playing my regular old D major chord. And I think I actually have that one here. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. So normally if I'm just playing my regular old D chord, shaped like this, do I have it? That's not coming up, is it? Let me see. There we go. So if I'm normally just playing this D chord like this, notice the 3rd string 2nd fret, I'm playing it, but then if I play my D7 chord, I'm taking that off. Okay? So this is a weird chord. So it still sounds like a D7 even though it has no root in it. Right? So when I'm playing a blues, A7, D7, A7, D7, the 4 chord, 1 chord, now E7, D7, so it totally works as the 4 chord even though it has no root. So just, I don't know, just have to accept that really. Alright, so there's your D7 chord. Now, we went over A7, B7, C7, and we went over D7. Of course, we've given you a couple examples of each one. Next, what I want to do is I want to show you the E7, but I'm going to show you 2 shapes here. So first, let's take this shape, this D7 that's on the screen here. And what happens if I move it up 2 frets? Well, don't forget, I have open strings that I also have to move up 2 frets. And I'm playing this. And this is the chord I'm playing right here. E7, right? If D7 is here on the 2nd fret, I move it up 1 fret to D sharp 7 or E flat 7, and then move it up 1 more fret to E7. Okay? And again, we know this shape has no root in it because it's just like the D7, except we're up 2 frets. So E7, but this is an E7 chord. So if you ever see that in a song, you can play this, no problem. Just realize it has no root in it. So it'd be helpful if you had like a bass player or piano player or something to cover that root, but it totally still works. Alright, so that's kind of a shape that, maybe you'd use, maybe not. Maybe if I was doing more of a blues or some jazz, I would use it. But traditionally, that's not a shape that I grab. The traditional E7 shape that I normally grab is this one right here. Okay? And so this is your open position E7 chord. And what I'm doing here is I'm just doing my first finger on the 4th string 1st fret. My second finger's on the 3rd string 2nd fret. Open 2nd string, and then my 3rd finger's on the 1st string 2nd fret. So there's E7. So that's the one I was playing when I was playing the blues. Really cool chord. I really like this chord. Okay, so there's your E7 chord. So where is the root for this chord? Well, you have G sharp here on the 4th string. You have D on the 3rd string, and then right there, open E. And then we have B on the 1st string. So your open 2nd string is the name of this chord. So this is why this is called E7, is this open 2nd string. So can you slide this shape up the neck? Of course you can. So if I move everything up 1 fret, well, that's fine, except remember, I gotta account for the open string. I just can't continue to play it open. It would, maybe if you're doing, that it sounds okay, a little bit more of a Spanish sound, but we gotta account for the open string. So E7, slide it up 1 fret, and now I gotta take this open string and move it up 1 fret, and I have our next shape, which is, where is it? F7. Okay, so we had E7 here, and I moved it up 1 fret, and I have F7, which is our next chord anyways in the progression. So my 2nd finger's on the 4th string 2nd fret. My 3rd finger's on the 3rd string 3rd fret. My 1st finger's on the 2nd string 1st fret, and then my pinky's on the 1st string 3rd fret. And there's your really cool sounding F7 chord. Yeah, I think it's cool. F7. And where's your root? Right here. 2nd string. In this case, 1st fret, and that's an F note. That's why this is called F7. We moved it up 1 fret. We now have F sharp 7, or G flat 7, because that's what this note is, 2nd string, 2nd fret. Slide up 1 more, we have G7. All right, so we've gone over now A7, B7, C7, D7, F7, and now our last chord here is our G7 chord, okay? And this is a totally new shape here. Hold on, let me try to do something here. Okay, so this is an entirely new shape here. And so what this one's going to be is our open 4th string. My 2nd finger's on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. My 1st finger's on the 2nd string 1st fret, and then my 3rd finger's on the 1st string 2nd fret. G7. Well, where's the root of this chord? You guessed it, right here on the 4th string. So whatever note you're playing here is always going to be the name of the chord, so G7. And this is our, open position G7. This might be one you've seen before. Kind of cool for a bossa nova sound. All right, so G7. Now what happens if I move all this up a fret? Okay, so if I move this, I just slide this up 1 fret. Well, I have to move the open string up from open to 1st fret. So whatever note this is right here on the 4th string 1st fret, that's the name of the chord. And this happens to be G sharp or A flat. So this is A flat 7 or G sharp 7, your choice. Move it up 1 more fret, I got A7. Okay, I got A7. Because 4th string 2nd fret is A. Move it up 1 more fret, I got B flat or A sharp 7. Move it up 1 more fret, B7. C7, C sharp, D, G sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Oh, G. Same thing as down here, step up an octave. And there we go, our G7. All right, so really we only went over, I think, 3 different shapes. Right, I gave you a couple bonus shapes, but basically 3 chord shapes that can move up and down this neck. So we had the A7, right? And then we had the C7. We had the E7. Oh, we had a G7, so we had 4 shapes. Yeah, so we had 4 shapes. Once you get those shapes down, understand where the root is, you can literally play any note or any 7th chord on the ukulele as long as you know where those notes are on the neck. And again, there was a great download I had for that. So message me if you want that. We'll talk about it. All right. So there's your essential 7th chords. Let me check in online here and see if there's any questions. I see, let me see. So I'm there. Okay, I don't see a lot today. It's a Friday. It's a little bit late. You know, I know people are busy and going out, but, you know, I wanted to be here and do this for you. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is our essential 7th chords. That's going to do it for today. Have a great rest of the Friday, and we will see you in the next lesson.